This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, please click that subscribe button and ring the bell out beside it. They'll be sure to notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we present here at Joy of the World, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. So as you can tell, I was headed out to the beach to have my day, and they said, get back in there and do that video. And I'm like, what video? And they're like, that video. And I said, oh, okay. So I still have my stuff set up over here in the cozy little nook in the little corner that I do every other week. And they said, go do that reading for Leo. This is their season. And give them a kind of a peek into the framework of what's going on right now. It's almost like we're looking actually through the framework into the image that is to come. So the image of what's going on with you, Leo. Interesting. These aren't my words, so we'll see. I already have a few cards out, but let's get some overarching here. We're gonna do some of the rune cards that I made. Let's get a peek of what this general overview is for Leo. I want one more. Okay, there we go. So, first one is movement. Looky here. We've got movement, new dwelling. Life, progress, transition, shifts, change, sun, and reassurance. I love that. That's your card. It's very solar. So for those of you, there's a transition coming in. There is something new on the horizon, and with it starting off talking about movement, that can also indicate a move. And the word reassurance is here, so it's like, calm down, calm down. This is just the rainbow over what we're about to delve into down here. And it has a sister card that wanted to come out with it. It says, in between we form the bonds. All right, so your strength is being formed in this transition point, in this going from the way things have been, the way, okay, they're saying the hand you were dealt, and moving forward into what it is you seek. That seeking is coming from the depths being stirred up inside of you, like they're spiraling and spiraling and spiraling up and out, like this unfurling, this unfoldment. Kind of like not only the plant coming forth from the ground, but the shoot of the flower coming out of the plant. And it starts as this little nub, and it shoots out, it makes a stem, and then there comes this bud, and it pops. So that's the first stage. Then there's the unfurling of the petals, and then the opening up and the release of the fragrance. When the fragrance is released, we know that's when the pollinators step in, the good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start at the very top. Now this has a crown above the crown, so we have an energy that's coming down in and through Kesed. So Kesed is the right hand, it's empathy. They're asking you to be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself, and be guilt free. Their exact words. So we're just going to go ahead and clear out any guilt energy resonating any of the Leos watching this video right now. We're purging it from you, because guilt is a state of being stuck. It's waiting for your sentencing. It's waiting for the announcement of your freedom. But since you have your own judgment, that's what the tarot is about, is walking through the stages of the self, moving through your tree of life. We're going to go ahead and say, hey, our judgment says we're going to go forward into this new life. Our judgment says we are going to begin to move. We're not going to be frozen and stuck in this guilt energy. So apparently that's a bit of harshness, a bit of being pressed. Okay, so Pluto and Mercury are here. All right. So Pluto has to do with death, resurrection, power, empowerment, that sort of thing. And Mercury is your communication. So speaking your truth, living your truth is even more so, because it's coming in the heart region. Can you see that? And being able to make way for yourself, for your heart, for your place in this world. And the thing is, they're saying, turn around, take another look. Turn around and face the mountain. There's rubble, there's residue, there's old facets of you that were left behind where you took off your own head. Where you bit yourself. This biting is kind of like backbiting. It's that thing of like arguing with yourself, struggling with yourself. Hey, and don't be dismayed, Leo. It's what they're showing me that many of us have been doing when we're living in the 3D, which is the world the way it is. It's how we had to come in needy for somebody else to program us, take care of us. But now we're at a stage that we can awaken and bring heaven to earth. When we bring heaven to earth and we bring in our choosing, we awaken our sun spirit. That's when the 4D comes in and the connection is made. It's not enough to have a lamp like this light shining here beside me. It's that plug has to have a socket. So it's making the full connection, the circuit with yourself. And there are facets, pieces of yourself that you left behind. And they're asking you to go back to the rubble, go through those things and find the pieces of yourself. So that's letting me know that you have some junk laying around. And this is physical, tangible junk that they're talking about. Things that you're sort of undecided on, that maybe they still carry an emotional charge, so you just leave them there for another day. But they're saying, let's go dive into that. Let's go take a peek into that. And the energy that's wanting to come through this. So look down here. Can you see this? That's very Hierophant energy. To give you the clarity, the insight, they're saying the rules and regulations, and that doesn't mean like step out of line, you're going to get burnt, you're guilty. Rules and regulations, what they're letting me know is your owner's operation manual. How things work for you, kind of your boundaries and the stuff that gives you form, it gives you shape, it gives you confidence in your decision making, in your authority, in your leadership. So reclaiming that, okay, this goes through the annals of time, through years. Some of you, it might be looking through a scrapbook or a photo album. Tell you that can charge it up. And begin to look back with a clear mind. But do unblock your heart. It is time to move those things out of the way, the perpetual death, the stoniness of heart. They're talking about like alchemy here, turning that leaden heart into gold. And to do that, what you really have to do is melt it down. And I would say to melt it down, synergize. That means begin to work your energies together. Put the plug in the socket, then use your magnificent hand to turn that light on. You're not in the dark. You are an authority. You have power. And both of those are ones that dwell in the outer edges of balance, like from extreme darkness to such a bright, blinding light. So bring them and find your way, weaving them together to recover your world. Now, the way this is sitting, it's sitting like that, okay? This is the energy that's wanting to come in and take this place. This is the balance between the two. And as we see, it's day and night. It's the illumined earth, and it's the time to go and to rest and to sleep and to allow spirit, allow your guides, allow your energy to process, transition. They're saying transmit. Okay, let's get a little clarity on that. All right, they're saying this card, 2 of Water, Sacred Cord. Let's see if I can get the light off of that enough. Can y'all see it here? No, there we go. Okay, this is a divine dance, riding the wave of energy, so this is cracking open a rupture down deep, down below, that emerging of self, the full discovery, wanting to have the permission, the power to call the shots, shakala, and causing your cup to overflow when it happens. But there's a little bit of a hump. There's a little bit of a transition there, because when the earth ruptures beneath the ocean in the deepest of depths, in the crack and the fissure that touches the gold. The gold is in the center of the earth. We're not just supposed to touch the ground, the dirt. We're supposed to magnetically connect with our GPS, both points. Okay, that when the earth ruptures beneath the ocean, it creates a tsunami, or it can create a tsunami. And in this case, they're calling it tidal wave. So it's not as severe as a tsunami, and you are definitely guarded and protected, both of you. There's an angel that's holding on to you, an earth angel, but it's the thing that you're kind of struggling with that could throw you out of balance, but it's like your own hand here. So that's your activities. That's the way you've been doing things. That's your patterns. And your patterns are tied to your beliefs. So this new covering, this new belief system is coming in that's very earthy, very earthen. And remember, that's what's wanting to replace this pattern, this belief. These extremes, living in the streams, they're wanting you to harmonize into the balance. And not just the balance, but the balance of the balance, the flow of the balance. They're saying take them out of flux and put them into flow. Well, if I'm kind of what I'm picking up on, flux has to do with electricity, energy, and flow has to do with like plasma state, and they're saying synergy, all the energies, not just the willpower, not just the, so if there's guilt, there's kind of like that very demanding energy, the energy of the will, which if you'll watch Capricorn this coming up week, is talking about that type of energy being blocked in the will because of the beaver energy. It's like doing out of your own hard work, doing out of your logic, doing it out of your perspective of where you're at now. That's very 3D. So wanting to bring in this new perspective, which is very enlightening, very creative energy. So let me pop that up there next to it. And this is a triad coming in down beneath it. We're going to start at point 1 and go with 50, the observer. So this gets you an extended lens. When you go into the observer, it gives you some foresight. And as we know, 2020, it often talks about, you know, hindsight is 2020. And that's us going, whoa, what the crap have we done? What has been going on? What has this been all about? It's a lot of what if, questioning, wondering, thus wandering, which could lead you astray. They're saying, plant your butt down, sit down, get out that lens, that scope, and begin to put an eye on the future. Begin to look ahead. Begin to, that's of course after you've done this reflection and collection point, to get yourself on point and balance and make yourself whole. After that, that sacred chord, that little bit of upwelling, that tidal wave, ride it on in and allow the balance to settle. And when you settle, that's the observer. And begin to look at the future, because as you can see, she's got little puffers, little dandelion seeds flying from her hair. The dreams are in your hair. And you can see it's transitioning from night to day, like waiting for the break of dawn, waiting for the new day to come in, which is fantastic. Because remember, new dwelling, life. This is like a new beginning energy going on here. And you're covered in destiny. You're right on time. They want you to know that everything that has happened is as it should be. They're saying don't go back and change things or wish things away or keep trying to solve why you were treated this way or that way, or why did you respond this way or that way, or undervalue yourself or overestimate yourself. That's the Plutonian Mercury energy going on. Interesting, because it's making my nose itch like crazy, y'all. I used to see readers do that and I was like, my nose never itches. I don't know what that is, but I'm telling you, it's like it's very intense. So just get a grip on yourself is kind of what they're saying. Let your feet be transformed. Let them be resurrected. Your movement, your footprint, your power. Interesting. So directly under Chesed, empathy, in the very center, we have 18 treasured memories. That's interesting because I was talking about the photos, the photo album. So when you clear away that dust, that debris, that charge of what you've experienced, because you realize it was part of destiny, it was like hold on to yourself and get yourself here. But when we're focusing on others, we're focusing on those situations, we're looking at those details, we're missing the bigger picture. We're missing out on the future because we are stuck in the past. Even though we're facing forward, that is the torture. You're looking ahead going, but I want that. That carrot, that dangling, it's like you're standing still on a moving sidewalk. And so you're moving away from that point over and over again. The carrot, the lure, the beauty, the desire is not being removed from you. You just haven't been moving. You weren't seeing the bigger picture. And they're saying set you free from that bondage, because I love it. Because even though she's sort of planted here on the ground, you can see her legs are positioned. She's ready. She's just squatting down, setting herself. You don't know if she's sitting down or getting up, but it looks like she's ready to go on an adventure. You see her zebra print shirt up here like a safari, got flowers in her hair, full of dreams, things that are calling to her, because they're like the red rose of destiny calling in, and they're kind of wild. I like that for you, Leo. But the sun has begun to shine, and you are that sun. You can see the illumination of what you were seeking over here. Woo! Look, you found yourself. So destiny has now gone from something that you've been embodying to something you're dreaming about. So that is a shift of state. It's coming forward into your mind in practical ideas, or not necessarily practical, but practical application of those ideas. Because when you're solar and you're radiant, it can seem wild to the common person around you, whoever that is. To somebody who's like in the middle, in that relegated state, they're going to be like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? You don't care. You don't hear that. You got your own dreams going on. You got your own thoughts going on up here in your thought bubble. I know it's a balloon, but you know in cartoons how they had a little thought bubble coming out. Yours is like, I got my head in the clouds. I'm a dreamer. I'm going to be famous. Going to be a musician. I'm going to write storybooks for kids. I'm going to a world traveling event and it's going to be fully funded and paid for. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to get the job done. Thus undamming that will, right? That thing that was blocking you is from the way you were raised, the way you came in, being in bondage to those situations, being held there, taking a look at your future, taking that foresight, because that foresight is a form of forgiveness. It's the ability and the permission to move on, to move forward. You know, letting it rise up into these practical steps on some impractical dreamy ideas there, Leo. To do what? Oh, it's making me hungry, y'all. I swear. My stomach rarely growls, but is like, it's getting me hungry now. So I hope your hunger is being stirred up, Leo, and you're going to go out for the chase, right? You're going to go out and feed your beautiful, divine, radiant self. So under this, we have the return of your energy, the return of your nature. For it's number 7, pure nature. And to me, 7s are always like a boomerang. You stand where you're at and you throw it out and you bring the future to yourself. You set your sights on it. You know who you are. You set your aim and you put your power behind that and you bring it in. And this is the unfolding, the unfurlment. But if you look closely, it's not a covering. It's a veil. It's a veil of destiny being lifted. You're not hiding behind there. You were just kind of caught off guard, like, oh, somebody is here in my garden. Ooh, Leo. You talking about love here, a lover, a mate, a soulmate. I like that. The stars are there. And ooh, you kind of got the swoon going on that face. Can you see it? It's like, they're like, oh, and then, that's what I see you saying here, Leah. This is fantastic. And the thing is, it makes you feel so small, not the person, but the being seen. Where before you felt so grandiose and like others couldn't relate or get you. But in the eyes of this person, you're fully seen. Interesting. In almost all your glory, there's a little bit of allure going on there. A little bit of titillating. We could call it teasing, but teasing is something that's withheld, right? And you're no longer standing on that moving sidewalk being removed from the carrot. You're now taking steps and moving forward. And this is what you're moving forward into. From there awakens Simi, okay? The angel of vengeance. Look at that. And this is a mindset on determination. You know, there had been something set above you from the earliest years. It might not, don't even like go pointing the fingers at parents and relatives and stuff like that. It had to do with the mindset of the world. Remember watching people live in these extremes. You've watched that experience of worldliness, of humanity and humankind and its form of operation of the common going thought on the planet at the time. That's really what it had you captivated. And it was robbing you of your dreams. You know, you belittled yourself. You shrunk yourself in the eyes of that. But the thing is there is one that's greater than you. There is this energy that's greater than you. It's beyond universe. It's omniverse. And you're like, yeah, that ruffles my feathers. That gets on the same page with me. But you're ready to go back and reclaim the parts of you that have been picked apart and devoured. Because this is very much vulture energy. But this time you're like, no, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean what is worthwhile and recover it unto myself. And you know you're going on dangerous waters, but it's really more emotional waters. It's about the depths are coming up to meet you. There's no more hiding from it, but you have called this in. That's what you are wielding here, is the power to decide, the power to choose. And yeah, there's blood on your hands because you are doing away with being grappled with, being attached, being drawn back and sucked in, being mistaken. people mistaking who you are. Ooh, I see your gold lighting up with that. And your eyes wide open going, exactly. I'm ready to get my dreams back. And you're willing to fight for it. And that's not fighting people. That's these energies that are going around trying to cause the cavorting energy of chaos, making you ping and bounce around like a pinball in a machine. And you're like, ain't no machine. I am alive. I am vibrant. I am radiant. I am the sun. Who's going to take the sun captive? You say, Leo. So let's get a card on Simi there. On this bloodstained hand, devoted determination to getting your dreams. For Leo. Hold on. Okay. I'm sitting pretty high up, so I didn't want it to fall. Okay, so I don't do inversions in my deck, so when it comes in inverted, lean your ear in. Because we're going to see what it has to say. 37, no rain today. Can you see that? I'm having to tilt them a little bit to get the glare, the reflection off. So we're going to turn out to give you a clearer look. Can you see that? So you're trying to get back that you hold the world on a string. Ah, I love that. Your dreams. You see that? You know they're yours and you're here to fulfill them, to walk them out. But this was telling you, and you've been trapped in sorrow. That's the guilt. There's a bit of shame. There's some, it's like stitched up in anger. And it has been held in your chest, surrounding your heart. And that is what continued to create the pressure. And that's what we call more of that type of energy and living towards yourself to perplex and to test you. But you've expanded to such a state that they're saying take your veracity, take your determination and put it to this. Put it to all of this. Looking forward into your future. That's what they were talking about, is come out of this destiny that kind of holds you down and begin to rise up in it and live it out and know that the world is big enough for your dreams. And you do know that and you do remember that, but there was that stuck energy, and that's why there's a bit of like lashing out. And that doesn't mean necessarily with your tongue or at people. It's that feeling the roar rip up. And sometimes when we do that, we set off with an extra charge. Remember they were talking about the electricity up here? About coming into synergy. So instead of just being that electric, the forcefulness of will of that, they're saying pride, that knowingness and that type of determination of at all costs, they're saying, The price has already been paid, so be gentle with it. And that doesn't mean like tiptoeing the tulips. That just means bring that balance together. Bounce those energies together. Come in through your center and let it flow out in lusciousness. Let it flow out in the golden honey, like harvest moon type energy, which harvest moon this year I think is September. So it's coming in soon. Just make each day rich and fulfilling. Make them purposeful. And that's going to turn you right side up. That's going to take away the stormy days. And look, oh, the radiation, the cloud on the head. Do you see that? There you are. And you'll begin to make friends with your own energy again, getting on the same page with yourself again. Because it's that electric charge that has done a big deal of the shutting yourself down, of the wreckage, of when that shuts down your solar, who you are is a form of protection. It's provision and protection. So when you begin to shut it down, what you need is not necessarily there. And the way you see things isn't there anymore. And then you begin to act more harshly toward yourself and your environment than you should. So they're saying, bring it in. Remember that this is who you are. This is what you're worthy of, is being that radiance, that natural flow, that effervescence, that favor-minded. And that brings in Sukalef, angel of verdancy. Look at that. And it's like there's that hunger that's being stirred up. What movie was that? Maybe it's Prince Caspian, but it's one where there was this battle coming against Narnia, and the trees rise up as warriors. And you're rising up here. Wow. Drawing greatness to yourself. To the power and the permission to feed yourself, to that part of the child, the one who can decide what it is you want on your plate. It's like going to the banquet of life. Everything is being offered, and you decide what goes on your plate, what fills you up, what greens you up, what awakens your vigor and your vitality. And the whole earth is coming forth in its abundance to offer itself. That's fantastic. Only the bullheadedness, that brash bull in a china shop type energy, that's the only thing I see walking away here. It's the only thing I see walking away. And I see you coming to peace with who you are and really operating in that. And you're beginning to find it within yourself, so you don't have it to be quite so outflowing generous right now in like tangible giving to others. Because it's growing, you need to grow it first and let it enlarge just a little bit, let it expand some, because it's not even in its fullness, it's just a seed. And if you spin that seed, you can't guarantee what's going to happen with it. But if you invest it in yourself, you put it in your soil, right there within your scope of care. You put in your scope of care, then it can grow. All you need is one tomato seed to get, I don't know how many hundreds, if not a couple thousand seeds, depending on the tomato that you're growing, and then you have plenty to share. So they're saying just carry it through one season, through one generation, because I live down here in the South in America, and so in Florida. So down here in the South, you can get 2 generations of tomatoes in a year. You have the summer tomatoes and you have the fall tomatoes. So you're able in one season, by the time the fall rolls around, to be able to be physically generous and share. Take a look. You see that? There's that spark that you're growing, that seed that you're growing. And while you're growing it and you have your eye on the future and your hunger's being stirred up and you're greening back up, all the greatness of life is drawing towards you. And that old bullheadedness is walking away. Okay? So I want to take a little, we're going to do this. We're going to get a card. I get to do a deep dive, y'all. Be back in a second. Okay. This is what is coming in. They're saying as soon as you shut that storm down, because of those patterns, it's still drawing a little bit of that energy. Do you remember these patterns? That static is still trying to attempt to come to your door, and they're like, you don't have to answer it. Just like at a buffet. If you don't like black olives, don't put them on your plate. You don't have to open the door to it, because it is your door, the door to your world. And you've now let this in. It's obvious. I can see it because I tried to come in and it didn't have enough power to. Because the power is in you. It's in your permission. It's in this energy, in the greening up here. And going forward, then this was easy to come out. It easily came out. This door to value, of knowing who you are. The creative power of knowing who you are. Of this. Right? Of this. And that cloud energy. Remember, your head in the clouds, the dreamer, bringing the favor in. All of the cosmos and life comes down to shower itself on you, because life wants to express itself. And life gets to live in and through us. And not demanding its way, but synergizing with us. Offering us its benefits and its powers to merge with our understanding and our wisdom and our grace. And it brings in lots of money, but not just money, a whole new world. A door to destiny is what I see. And destiny, because you were determined to not be alone and live in that static and that 3D world, but to allow your heaven to come here on earth, to be able to live your dreams, touch, taste, feel, smell, experience, hear them, embrace them, completely bring it in this lifetime, in this world. That is the point. And it causes the earth to blossom and the ground under your feet, the very ground under your feet, to flourish. Remember this about letting your feet emerge in that butterfly energy. They're saying they want to restore your favor. the golden ground that you walk on, that yellow brick road, that's a road of gold. It's to the treasure. It's to the connections and the understanding of the mindset of living. Hey, Leo, I'm glad life took me by the hand and walked me back in the door and said, get out that reading. I'm ready to share it with you. I'm looking forward to it. My part of fortune's in Leo. So apparently I get to listen back to this and do a little intake myself. I love you guys. Chat soon.